Hello, I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, we take you to a day of honor for veterans and widows of veterans put on by the Elgin Township Triad that took place on November 8th. Soups on, in this case, 9 soups were on as the City of Elgin's workers held a super cook-off with proceeds going to the United Way of Elgin. We talk with Carol Gieske, President and CEO of the Elgin Area Chamber, about their Thanksgiving luncheon, which honored Elgin volunteers that add so much to our community. The timing of winter weather arrives just as Christina Gonzalez of the Downtown Neighborhood Association reminds us the winter market returns to the Elgin Art Space Lofts. Mayor David Captain's segment includes guest Don Sleeman of the American Legion, Post 57 at 820 North Liberty Street in Elgin. They will be celebrating their 100th anniversary in March. Cherie Murphy will tell us all about the plans for December 7th and the official renaming of the Center of Elgin to the Edward Schock Center of Elgin in honor of the 3-term Elgin mayor. The public ceremony will go from 3:30 to 4:30 on that day. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. Let's open with a recap of a day of honor for area veterans and widows put on by the Elgin Township that took place on Thursday, November 8th. Lots of special moments for everyone on this day that said thanks to area veterans, as we talk first with a lady who helped make this happen. Second year was wonderful, wasn't it?
Yes, we had a great turnout. We were so happy to see some returning faces, as well as a lot of new veterans from the community that came to participate. So it was very exciting.
Talk about Shirley.
Oh, Shirley Flutter. She is just a breath of fresh air. So wonderful to donate the amazing quilts, and the time that she said takes to make these quilts for these veterans is amazing. And again, 2 years in a row, she's donated 2 quilts. We were able to honor 2 veterans, 98 years old and 94 years old.
And a young lady wasn't it?
Yes, Miss June Nelson, one of the original Nurse Corps cadets from World War II. So that was a special treat.
During Honor Flight, they announced that Vietnam veterans now going next year. Is that right?
Yes, very exciting. So, of course, World War II and Korean War have precedence, but they are now offering and opening up to Vietnam, which will be starting next year.
You made this also a great musical day with Sweet Reminder.
Oh, yes, that was fun. When I had the privilege to go on Honor Flight last June, that's when I met the Sweet Reminders, and I said, what a wonderful presentation, and they really got the crowd going, and it was such a great treat.
Remind us how you organize this.
Well, it's part of the Elgin Township Triad. We have a great team, great community, and again, just great people in the city of Elgin, our dignitaries, mayors, police, law enforcement to help participate and bring this event together. It's so nice to have it here.
All right, anything else we need to know? It was delightful.
Stay tuned for next year.
Well, Sherry, you're involved with Triad for many years, aren't you?
I have. I've been with the Elgin Township Triad. It's 20 years old. I've been on it since 2003.
And your title is?
I'm president.
Wow. Well, this is a great event today, wasn't it?
It is. This is our second annual Honor the Veterans, and we're going to do it every year. Look at this. How can we not? I mean, it just brings tears to everybody's eyes. I've told you, I feel like my eyes are all puffy now.
Well, that's wonderful. Our Elgin police had great representation, and there's a couple veterans.
Yes, we had a couple. I was Commander Frank Trost was one, and I think it was Eric Echeverria, and I'm probably forgetting somebody. I don't know. We had quite a few of them sitting here at the table.
It was a good group, to say the least.
Make sure you're coming again next year. It's always going to be in November. Again, we're looking forward to the 3rd. Didn't you like the girls that were singing from the was the Honor Flight? Yeah, from the Honor Flight. That was added this year. Yeah. So, we're going to learn every year. We're going to keep adding.
It's Wednesday, November 14th at the lower level of the Hemmons Cultural Center, and some familiar faces for the City of Elgin in attendance. Let's find out what's happening.
My name is Dana Denai, and I am the Purchasing Director at the City of Elgin. And we are here with the first annual Super Cook-Off. And this is an employee challenge where we have 9 chefs that have all donated their time and money to sell their soups. And every employee has the opportunity to vote on their People's Choice. And we have 2 judges here today, Bill Dobson from McDonald's Corporation, and Chris Sumner from Mama Lee's. And the mayor will be here, Mayor David Captain will be here at noon. They are all testing the soups based on presentation and also based on their flavor. Some of the soups we have today, we have 2 different red lentil soups. We have a gumbo that has seafood, or you can get it without seafood. We have vegetable beef soup. We have zuppa toscana. We have charro bean soup, chicken tortilla soup, and roasted sweet potato soup. 9 soups. They're all delicious. I've seen them. they look delicious, and all proceeds go to the United Way.
Not cooking, but ready to enjoy Soup of the Day, Ron Anderson, Supervisor, Health and Fitness, Recreation Department for the City of Elgin, gave us a before and after soup thought.
I feel really good about this. Soup is healthy and good for you, and this time of year you really need it. Because weather outside is cold and frightful, but the soup is oh so delightful. My favorite actually is the gumbo, number 8, by Brazil Hardy. Close second is the tortilla soup with Dave Lopez. Flip a coin on those two, you can't go wrong because it's going to clear your sinuses up. That's a good thing too.
The judges were unanimous on the best overall soup, and it was number 4. We agreed independently with each other, so it was good stuff. Very good.
Congratulations to Brett Lynn, Supervisor for Youth and Teen for the Recreation Department, as he was the winner according to the judges. But there was also a vote by those in attendance for the best soup.
He is the people's choice. Number 8 is the winner. He made gumbo. He had a choice of seafood and non-seafood. And he is the winner this year. His name is Brazil Hardy, and he is represented by Public Services /Wing Park.
Mr. Hardy would tell us how long he has been perfecting his gumbo and where the recipe came about.
About 20 years, 25 years. Somebody from Louisiana, when I was in the military, gave it to me, and I've tweaked it over the years.
And from the lower level of the Hemmons Cultural Center, that's our Soups of the Day, City of Elgin style. Our next segment reminds us that winter arrived a little early this year with snow falling on the night of Sunday, November 25th, and into the morning of Monday, November 26th, as we look at some of the scenes from downtown Elgin. Take a look from the Spring Street parking deck, how things look, and from DuPage Court. And with winter now in our mind and visual as well, let's check in at the Elgin Art Space Lofts and find out from the Downtown Neighborhood Association folks about Winter Market, which takes place here.
I'm Christina Gonzalez. I'm the Events and Promotions Coordinator for the Downtown Neighborhood Association, and we're kicking off the Elgin Winter Market season this year. This year there's some changes to it. It's only going to be once a month this year from January to April on the second Saturday from 10 to 3.
Tell me about some of the folks involved.
So we have some returning vendors, 3B's Honey, which is a local honey vendor, Bridge and Sweets, they do gourmet treats, cakes, pies, they'll even take orders, and there's a huge new mix of vendors. This year we're keeping it a little smaller. We're maxing out at about 17 vendors to fully maximize the space here in Art Space and just show off the artwork on the walls, the room, and really let these vendors show off all the great products they're bringing in.
What a wonderful room you've chosen, the Robin and Mark Siegel Gallery here at Art Space. It's a great showcase, isn't it?
Yes, so we are very lucky to use this space. It's right in downtown. It's by 2 parking garages, so parking is super easy to get to, and you can always come in, check out the artwork. It changes throughout the months, so every time you come down, there's new art to be seen.
And wonderful warm spot for wintertime.
Yes, we get to be very warm, away from the snow, away from the cold, but you still get to come down and explore downtown Elgin while shopping local, shopping from some of our farmers this year that are joining us, and shopping from local artists, producers, anyone that makes jewelry, honey. We even have some farmers coming in this season.
It's a great showcase, and indoors we couldn't endorse it more. It keeps us good supplied in the winter.
Yes, it does, and especially being once a month this year, you know, you come down, you stock up, and then we see you in a month again.
That specific date in January is what?
That is the second Saturday in January. It's every second Saturday, January until April, 10 to 3. Just make sure you come out, support our vendors. There's such a good mix of them, and a lot of them come from the summer market, so you get to have them all season long. Yes, there will be a listing on our Facebook page and our Downtown Elgin website as well for all of our seasonal vendors.
Let's go to this gathering of the Elgin Area Chamber hosting an annual event on the campus of Elgin Community College. And let's hear about what was happening on this day in November.
We just had a wonderful community Thanksgiving luncheon. This is our 39th annual luncheon in the community where we bring back folks who are volunteers in the community, our not-for-profit agencies and businesses, to give thanks about what's happening here in the Elgin area.
And you've got a who's who in attendance. Tell me about some of the nominees.
We have 5 people, Jeff, that we are recognizing who've been nominated for local nonprofits for their volunteerism within the agencies. So Habitat for Humanity, both the organization and Restore, each nominated someone to be recognized for their day-to-day volunteerism at the agency. Wren's Addiction Counseling Center also nominated someone. Our Enhancing Elgin Committee nominated Risa Jones. We all know the beloved Risa Jones in our community.
We'll have her sing later.
We will have her sing. And And then, of course, Centro de Información, Jaime Garcia and his staff nominated a volunteer. So we're recognizing these folks and just saying thanks for their volunteer service.
It's such a good Thanksgiving set. Now, the U46 students made special ornaments, did they not, for the table?
They do. We always ask the U46 students to come forth and make a table decoration. And so on each of our 40 different tables, we have something that some grade school child has made in one of their classrooms and loaned it to us for our day today. And they're just darling.
It's wonderful. It's an excited crowd today. It's been a good year for the Chamber, has it not?
It's been a wonderful year. We are so fortunate, so blessed to have so many people who are involved in our organization. Jeff, the business community continues to grow. We're reaching out and welcoming new businesses, expanding businesses that we recognize through our Elgin Development Group. So Elgin is a hopping place. South Elgin is just as exciting in the growth going on there as well.
It is such a special occasion to celebrate all the riches that we have in Elgin.
And you see so many familiar faces here?
Yeah, I just walked in, but yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces ready to greet everyone.
It's a great honor to be nominated because we know the great work you always do.
Yeah, I love working with the youth in our community, and we have such a caring, compassionate community that looks after people from birth all the way to seniors. So it's a great community.
You're talking about Elgin, Illinois well.
Elgin, Illinois. I was born and raised here, so I have to love this place. It's in my blood.
Also in attendance on this day, Assistant City Elgin Manager Laura Valdez and the city's communications specialist Molly Center, who gave us information that should interest area high schoolers.
We're going to be opening up some student positions on 3 of our boards and commissions. We currently already have a student representative on our Cultural Arts Commission, but that's been so successful that we want to put that on more commissions. So we'll have the Sustainability Commission, the Human Relations Commission, and the Parks and Rec Board will all be getting a student representative. So we're looking for high school students, sophomores and juniors, the first round. There'll be 1-year terms during the school year. There'll be non-voting members, but it's a great opportunity to get involved in local government, kind of learn how it works, and be a part of some really cool initiatives.
And you have all the information online.
We do. So you can learn about all the boards and commissions at cityofelgin.org/boards. And if students are interested in applying, there's a link right there, and you can also go to cityofelgin.org/student application.
If Grandpa's watching, he might say, hey, my grandson would do well with that.
Absolutely. Please share the word.
It's time for our segment with Mayor David Captain here in December. Mayor, you've got us indoors on a winter day.
We have. It's kind of cold outside, and we celebrated this past month the anniversary of the end of World War I. And my mother, till the day she died, called it Armistice Day, but it became Veterans Day in the 1950s. And as part of that, and I think it's important to recognize organizations as well. With us today is my friend and neighbor, Don Sleeman. And Don has been involved with the American Legion for a long time. And the American Legion was founded right at the time, the end of World War I. And been around for 100 years as well. It's an anniversary for them, and I'd like to talk about the history of the American Legion, what their purpose was right after the war, and how it's grown, and we'll talk a little bit about how it's gone on in Elgin. So I'll turn it over to Don and give us a history as how the American Legion gets started, and where the money come from, and how did it get started as an organization.
And Don, just like the mayor said, you've been there since it was Armistice Day, and you came here in the 50s, didn't you?
I wasn't there in 1918.
Well, but you were almost thinking about it.
I joined in 1955.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm a later coming, but the origin was a group of officers were trying to address the uneasiness of the troops after the armistice was signed, who didn't want to stay on occupation. They wanted to come home, and they got together and they decided that the best thing for them to do was to serve the country in a fashion that would help educate and make the country a better place. So they petitioned the commanding officer of the AEF, who agreed, and he furnished a place in Paris, and they had a 3-day conference starting in March the 15th of 1919, and out of that they had a caucus in St. Louis, and they set their dues money-wise. You asked the question. They didn't have any money, so they set the dues at 25 cents a piece.
Wow.
We're now at $50, but that was the beginning.
And this location here was the 57th in the state. Is that what you told us?
Well, yeah, Elgin 57 is a
What
57th
stands for a number
in the
we have,
state.
so we don't went
Yeah.
numerically.
The surprising thing was that by the time they got to St. Louis, they had over 800, about 80,000 members, which was phenomenal in those days.
It was.
And then they had their first convention up in Minneapolis, and from there it's grown. And the city of Indianapolis, Indiana, donated a whole area for them, and they built buildings for them. And that was their national headquarters. And that's how that got to be there.
Remind us our location here. You've been at this location here since 71?
Since 71, yeah.
What's our exact address?
This is 820 North Liberty, the old Gromer's store, the first Dick Gromer's.
And you were in as a Gromer store, weren't you, man?
Oh, yeah. I remember it very well. And Don has been, he travels all over the country, goes and visits other chapters of the Legion, talks to them, and it's part of, it's what it does. I think it brings veterans together and it's not just sharing war stories, though. It's more than that. And it's about helping each other and making sure that the Legion has become a real political voice around the country, has always been. And to bring assistance back to veterans that came back after the wars, and that's an ongoing issue for us as a city, as a nation. And how do we make sure that the men and women that served us are taken care of when they come back? And many of them, with the Veterans Administration and locally, we have to do things that we can do to help veterans out. And the American Legion has always been at the forefront of bringing those issues to the attention of the elected officials, and that's that's a very important part.
No question about that. And of course, the Veterans Memorial, you were always in charge of that. You guys are. That went well on November 11th for the last 10 years at the Veterans Memorial. The new location's been great. On the Wall of Fame, you've got the very first commander. Talk about him.
Well, our first commander was Charlie Silliman, and he served the first term. He passed away in '35. His wife was nurse for the Elgin U-46 schools. Well, it wasn't U-46 then. And they lived over on Lawrence Avenue next to Lord School.
That's great.
And the son, Charles, he went to school there.
That's great.
I remember Chuck, and I remember her very well.
Did you get ill and she take your temperature, Mayor?
No.
You should go a little further back than that. It's great because you have all that history there, the pictures, the great history that is right here at this location.
I came into this post in 1955, and at that time, we had about 380 World War I members at that time. World War II, of course, was very predominant. And Korea, which was where I served, they were slow coming in, like Nam and the Desert Storm people. The people have to age a little bit before they start getting involved. One of the concepts that people have is that we're nothing but a beer drinking group. Well, that's partial. We're a legislative organization, and that's the only political aspect. Mm-hmm. We legislate, or we write legislation, and we take it to Congress. Mm-hmm. And some of our main issues that we succeeded in, child labor laws, coal mine safety, highway safety, school education programs. We founded the school teachers week. Mm-hmm. That was a National School Teachers Week. And We founded that, and we were very strong in it. We have a boys' state program where we teach children how to respect your country and the histories, and we have a girls' state that's the same. And that was started in the 30s to offset the Russian pioneers and the German Nazi youth program. And both of those were getting very strong in the United States in the 30s, in the mid-30s. So that's why that program was started.
So whatever's happening in history, you guys are right there. You also mentioned our preamble right behind us here. Since 1918, only one letter has been changed in the preamble. Is that right?
Only one word in the preamble to our Constitution was changed, and that was in the 50s when the S was added to the word war, and I made it wars. And that was about the same time that President Eisenhower
changed it,
changed
54.
the name of Armistice Day to Veterans
That was
Day.
very well done. We're going to run out of time. Don Sliming's also so good community-wise.
That was another thing I wanted to touch on. People forget that many of the men and women that served in the armed forces never quit giving up and giving back to their community. And Don's a great example. Many people don't know that Don was led part of the effort to save Old Main in the city of Elgin.
Bicentennial year.
And it's these are the kind of things that members of the American Legion do. They continue to give back to their country, and that's what makes us a great country. And Don has been an inspiration to me, an inspiration to many people in the city of Elgin.
Wonderful. And I get a darn good lunch here every Tuesday through Friday, don't I?
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah.
We have great food. How about you, Mayor? You're right.
But I belong here, so it's and I could spend some time up here, but not as much as I'd like to. But you know how that works for me.
Oh, yeah.
I think one thing that, and maybe we'll real briefly on membership and how Don's working to bring more members back, and we'd like to publicize this and get young members to come back in and join the Legion as well.
We got 30 seconds, Don.
Well, all I can say is to the citizens of the United States is thumbs up, keep a positive attitude, and God bless America.
No question. And make sure that you've got a Facebook site and you've got plenty of site where folks can get information about Post 57.
Right.
All right. Can we stay for lunch? The mayor's probably busy. Well, it's wonderful here.
Thank you very much, Jeff, and we'll look forward to doing a program again next month. And thanks to Don and his service and to the veterans that are a part of our city.
That's our conversation right here from American Legion Post 57. Always special for so many people, Jeff Turner's free community dinner for Thanksgiving with a crowd of about 1,000 in attendance. It's just a great day, great food, lots of friends, and fun for all. Let's check in with Jeff Turner as he has lots of folks to thank for this happening on Thanksgiving Day.
So many people to thank. Food for Friends, who supplies us with all of our proteins for the dinners. 1,000 pounds of turkey. Went down to the casino. They cooked it for us, and then we did all the other prep here. So I have to thank my kitchen staff, my front of the house staff, Ryan Washi, Neil Litton, Teresa Muscotti. Thank all my volunteers, my donors, Hurley and Volk. Huge donor. They gave us 80 pounds of candy, so all the kids have candy today. Just a great day. Yeah, this year we have our Christmas dinner, annual Christmas dinner. It's at the Hemmons Cultural Center on Saturday, December 15th from 11 to 2. Volunteer shifts are still available, but they fill up quick. So Hemmons Cultural Center, the 15th of December. We're going to have another great day. Hopefully we have over 1,000 people at that one. And then one other one we're doing is out of the Dream Hall at 51 South Grove. On Christmas Day, we're actually making meals to take out to the homeless population, anybody who needs it. Last year we fed Public Works as well. So we're taking out meals on Christmas Day to any people who need it. So those are our next two events, so be there.
Mr. Rodney Clifton, Elgin High School class of 1995, is one of the new members of the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame. Rodney was inducted in ceremonies in November. He played more than one sport at EHS. We talk about that and also about how he feels about being a new Hall member.
I feel very honored, and to go to a elite group of Elgin athletes, it feels really good. Very honored and humbled.
We're so delighted. You're a throwback, that 3-sport star you are.
I tried. Yeah, I tried to get involved with all 3 sports. try my best at all three. It's pretty hard to concentrate just on one. Had so much fun playing them all, so it was great.
Well, you went pro with baseball, but you had very good basketball and football careers here.
I did. I actually, like you said, I was a three sports athlete, so I always wanted to do it all, try my hand at everything. So it was always great.
Who's introducing you tonight?
Coach Jim Harrington.
You couldn't do better than that?
No, I could not. Me and him have a great relationship. I was honored for him to, when I asked him, I was honored for when he said yes, so it was great.
We're at the Center of Elgin. We're going to talk with Cherie Murphy. This month of December, a big name change takes place at the center here, doesn't it, Cherie?
Yes, it does. We're renaming the center to honor previous Mayor Edward Schock. So the center will be known as the Edward Schock Center of Elgin as of December 7th this year.
What a wonderful designation. Now, we're inviting the public on that Friday, December 7th. You're watching early in the month here on the show. The public's invited for the 3:30 start?
Yes. Ed has touched so many lives throughout the community for so many years, whether it's in his background as an educator or as mayor. So we encourage everybody who loves Ed to come out and be with us that day as we honor his legacy, and the fact that this building is here can be contributed a lot to his efforts, especially physically here, because many people wanted it to be built elsewhere, and he felt it was very, very strongly that we should have it downtown because this is the heart of our community, and I think he was proven right.
Wonderful said. December 7th, 2002 was the basic opening day, so 16 years, and now we get the Edward Schock Center of Elgin. You, along with Sylvia Grady, are planning the big party that day.
Right. We got a phone call from the city manager's office a few weeks ago. Sylvia and I worked with Ed closely on many projects, and over the years, Sylvia even more years than I did as an educator. And so they felt, as two old retirees with nothing to do, that we would enjoy putting this together, and we were very honored and feel privileged to be able to do this for Ed.
So you have the special video on that day and some of the remembrance. I know that the Schock family's delighted, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They are. I think the daughters and his wife both are really happy to see this, because Ed's worked hard. His life Elgin has been a passion his whole life. So it's really nice to see him honored in this way.
In a great way. Well, not only the name Edward Schock, but Leslie Schock in the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame. She's on the wall already. In many ways, it was the mayor going to events. That's how it started. They would take the young daughter to basketball events in other cities, and they said, you should host something. And the mayor said, we got nothing like that here.
Exactly. And for so many reasons, that was probably the impetus of it. But then you think about all the other things that the center offers for our community. We didn't have anything like this in Elgin. So people, people move to communities because they have amenities. We didn't have those amenities. So this is something that he felt very strongly about, and I think now they have 1 million people a year come to this center. So it has proven very valuable for our community.
Question about that in the modern day. We're going to do this after we're done with this video. We're going to play some pickleball.
Oh, all right.
We're going to suit up for pickleball. It seems to be a hot spot.
I'm going to go home and thaw a turkey.
Well, you know it. All right, with that in mind, 3:30 on the December 7th, invite the entire populace.
Yes, we encourage everyone to come out. It starts at 3:30. We anticipate it being over probably 4:30. We invite people to come and have an opportunity to say hi to Ed and share this with us.
From the Center of Elgin to the Edward Schock Center of Elgin, Cherie Murphy, we appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks. You can learn more about the information you saw here in Elgin today, or about city services, programs, and events by going to the Elgin website at www.cityofelgin.org. And now the City of Elgin has a 311 contact center. Elgin 311. Call, click, connect by calling 311, the city's information and request resource. Elgin Today is produced for the City of Elgin by BTE Video. Our staff includes still photographer on the left, Bruce Shipyor. On the right, it's camera operator and exquisite technician, Jeremy Hayes. And yours truly, Jeff Myers. Thanks for watching Elgin Today.